Good morning, everyone. So, any doubts, any problems, dear? You can send even any issue you have or any questions, any doubts. Yeah, tell me, dear. So last class we completed your BOP. That's a current account part, mainly your current account part. So thank you, everyone. Any doubts, any questions till your last class? You are getting any problem? Yes. ठीक. Now, so first, let us discuss about the capital account. So we discussed with you BOP, balance of payment, and so some questions you sent me. Yeah, I will discuss. You just wait there, near and dear. We buy and sell gold in phone apps. Is it one type of gold bond? See, buying and sale of the gold in phone app. I don't know whether it's a legal one or not. Okay, but yes, but maybe possible you are buying the bond, but till now I mean the banks are really allowing the online purchase or not, because but banks are allowed, post offices are allowed. You can buy the sovereign gold bond I'm talking about, not the physical gold. See, Hallmark gold means that is a some agency which is certified by the government is going to put a mark on the gold. They are going to put a mark on the gold. Okay, what is the purity of that gold? Or suppose jewelry made from the gold. What is the purity of this gold? That is the hallmark. So it may be the 24 carat, 22 carats, 20 carats, 18 carats, like this, depending on the level of purity. 24 carats means pure gold, and the moment it's coming below this, the impurity keeps increasing. So that is your basically hallmark is there, that's saying about the purity of the gold. Capital gain takes Aditya. Okay, let us consider, we consider the 50,000 rupees, we paid the 50,000. Okay, and I purchased gold, say 10 grams of gold I purchased today in the 50,000. And suppose tomorrow the price of gold increased to 55,000. So this higher 5,000 rupees what I'm getting, or this increase in 5,000 rupees, is this 5,000 extra amount what I'm getting is known as the capital gain. Capital gain. And how much capital gain we are getting on that, if we are paying any tax on that, that is known as a capital gain tax. Okay. If you compare with the sovereign gold bond, so suppose you purchase 50,000 rupees gold worth of the sovereign gold bond from the government. So what the government is saying, okay, suppose after 1 year, okay, the gold price increased to 55,000. Basically, the 5,000 more you are getting. See, I know that is a login period is 5 year and maturity is 8 year, but I'm just explaining you taking the 1 year example. You suppose now it's 55,000. So 5,000 you're getting it more and government has to pay. So 5,000 extra what you are getting, that is known as the capital gain. And government is not going to impose any, that is individual exempted from the capital gain tax. Government is not going to impose any tax. But yes, the interest you earn in a given time period. So how much you are earning due to the interest. So it is part of your income, subject to the income tax provisions. Okay. 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 Now I started getting the questions from you. Yesterday I went through the chapter BOP and came up with the following doubts. See, accrual basis means कि sometimes we are just getting the amount. कि what is the expected one? So when you take the expected one, so you can come in the accrual basis. Okay, because sometimes you have to just take the expected one. You are not getting the whole this actual cash basis. Clear? But export on. See, third one questions, second questions, I will give you the example. But here, any any private transactions between two corporate firms counted under BOP? Remember, dear, BOP is the, I mean, you are recording all economic transactions between your domestic country and the rest of the world. So you are doing the transaction between the two nations, maybe from one side one corporate and other side the other corporate. So yes, it will be recorded. But if your transaction is going within the country between the two corporate, that is not going to include it. External transactions, always remember. Clear? How devaluation of domestic currency stimulates exports and reduces imports. But that is already I just explained you, dear. How devaluation of domestic currency. You are writing that ki I'm just going through the chapter, but that is I dictated you also. When I made the dictation on this, ki how devaluation of domestic currency increasing. That's we have discussed with you. Ki if you are devaluing the domestic currency, means after devaluations, the foreigners are able to buy more goods and services in India or in our domestic economy, okay, out of the same amount of dollar. So for them, our domestically produced goods and services is going to be inexpensive. It's going to be inexpensive and cheaper one. So since these goods becomes more inexpensive for the foreigners, so they will demand more, and their demand is our exports. So exports is going up. That is one of the reason. And import reduces means कि when you are going to buy the foreign product, that is the imported product. Don't write the imported foreign product, because foreign product means all the products other than produced in your domestic country is known as the foreign products only. But all foreign products are not is coming in India or in our domestic economy. If foreign products that's coming in India, they are the imported products. So best word suits in this condition is the imported product. So yes, imported products are there. That's we are. Uh, so earlier, suppose $1 was 50 rupees, and now after devaluation, it becomes $1 equal to 60 rupees. So earlier, when I was buying $1 imported products, I was paying 50 rupees. But after devaluation, now the same $1 product, I am going to pay the 60 rupees per dollar. One product, $1 product. So when you are paying now 60 rupees in place of 50 rupees, it means imported products becomes expensive for domestic consumers and producers. When it become expensive, so what I will do, I will demand relatively less. It means our demand is nothing but the imports. So imports is going to fall. Clear, dear? Now next you asked, I mean in the same question 5, Subhankar Mandal. Okay. Your next question is why NRI deposits are considered as India's external debt? No, NRI's deposit is not external debt. But yes, it is a liability. We have to pay. But external debt is not the part of that. External, you not borrowed it. They willingly deposited in this account. So the nature of this is not the external debt. But since you have to pay, so yes, it is your liability. But liability of the banking system where you deposit it, bank has to pay this. Next, sir, why is foreign currency convertible bond considered as FDI? Yeah, FDI means the foreign currency convertible bond. Suppose you are getting the bond. Not, it's not in that way FDI. It's not the FDI. Okay. But yes, you are issued the bond. Suppose take in this form. Don't take in this way. Suppose you are a firm, you issued a particular bond, but that bond it is in terms of foreign currency. So it's a very simple. Suppose I am a firm and I'm any corporate. I issued a bond and that bond is in terms of foreign currency. So definitely this bond I am selling in other nations also. Other nations also. If foreigners are buying this bond, but they are buying in terms of foreign currency. Even domestic are buying, they're buying in the foreign currency. So suppose they are buying from for investors in foreign currency. So I am getting the amount or in investment amount in terms of foreign currency. So when you're getting in terms of foreign currency, so you can consider it as the part of FDI because finally, who invested in your company? Foreigners invested in your company. So in this way, you can connect it. Clear, Subsan? And other this like you are just this one, I will give you some example. Give me some time, free on board basis. And, okay, right. Next, you are asking, sir, long-term period is 12 to 15 years. If I want to keep my gold more than 15 years, is it possible, brother? See, the policy is saying till 15 years. 15 years. If you want to just get more, then after 15 years, again you just redeposit it. Continue as long as you want. But in one time maximum you can just go for the 15 years. That is as, uh, as per the notifications under this policy, it is there maximum 15 years. Okay, I think now you are not getting any audio issue. Okay, साउंड प्रॉब्लम बच्चों का आ रहा था साउंड. ठीक है, still you are getting or you are getting the okay sound problem solved here. ये पीछे कंफर्टेबल नहीं होता है इस पर. Now it's clear to all. Now they tried to solve this sound problem, audio problem. If yours okay, then please reply. Okay, and now, so what is debt service ratio means? What is your debt amount? On this amount, how much you are paying the against that amount? How much you are paying the interest rate? So what is the ratio of interest rate to the total amount? What you have to pay? That is the ratio is known as the debt service ratio because you have to compare with the interest rate. And Subham, you are asking what is that auctioning in gold monetization scheme? Auctioning is nothing there. Auctioning is just a process. Suppose you deposited gold to me, I'm a bank. So how can I earn? So I can participate in the auctioning in the market where auction is going on. If in auctioning, suppose price of gold I'm getting much higher, so I can sell that day gold to in that market. And the some other days, suppose if in auctioning or in the market price is low, I can buy this. So this thing you can do in the market, and by doing this thing you can earn and you can make profit. Okay, now it's fine. It's a clear audio problem. It's fine. So now come to the capital market. So BOP part we have discussed with you. Okay, BOP part. So BOP we have concerned. Now we are going to the discuss about the second part, which is the capital account. So only one point I discussed with you, ki the current account and the capital account. One is the basic criteria that you have to decide on that. Is really that economic transaction is related to assets or liabilities or not. If you think that yes, your any outflow of foreign currency from the country or any amount of inflow of foreign currency, okay, is suppose it's a going to change any claim in the international transaction. Suppose either you are claiming on other countries or other countries are claiming to you. Okay, so that is that transaction. This transaction is the part of capital account. Like loan given to you, yes, I started claiming you. I borrowed from you. You started claiming on me. So it is my liabilities. You invested in my country. I invested in your country. That is related to asset creation or capital formations. Okay, so in this way you have to think about it. Clear? Like external assistance you have written capital account. So first you write the one line capital account, right? Capital account includes capital account includes all economic transactions. Capital account includes all economic transactions that related to assets or liabilities that related to assets or liabilities of the country. Full stop. In other words these transactions these transactions these transactions may change these transactions can change the claim of the country to the world, claim claim of the country to the world, and world's claim to us and world claims to us, or creation of capital assets or creation of capital assets creation of capital assets during a given period of time. Whatever you are just recording, it's a during a given period of time because you have to decide the period and then you have to record it. Okay, full stop, just right. Like now you go one by one point, every point you just go and think. In the flow chart, what I made you yesterday in the capital account, we have written one point is the external assistance. So any assistance you are giving for the long term or you're receiving from the other country for the long term. So it is the part of your capital account. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Again, problem. There is still you are getting the problem of sound. Okay. So just to see the first point, the external assistance. External assistance means, suppose you are assisting to other country, you are giving fund for maybe long term. You are receiving from other countries in long term. So external assistance you are receiving or giving. So it is a part of your capital account. Next, you are written that the short-term credits. Suppose short-term you are giving loan to any other countries or even you are receiving it. Yes, it is a part of your capital account because it is going to change the claim. Third one, you have written that just you see that third one entry, the I mean commercial and external commercial undertakings. Short form is the ECB. What is external commercial borrowing? So when our corporate sector, they are borrowing from international market, maybe from any other countries or maybe other international institutions, and they are using this fund for commercial purpose. So it is known as external commercial borrowings. Borrowing means you are taking loan. External means you are taking from the external economy, and commercial means you are taking the commercial purpose. That is known as ECB. Yes, one condition is that okay, the amount you are borrowing as a ECB, external commercial borrowing, the amount the corporate sectors is borrowed, they have to use this amount only in capital expenditure, which is short form as capex, capital expenditure. You can't use this borrowed amount for the revenue expenditure. They asked me for microphone, keep it here, so I kept it here. Okay, I don't know whether you are getting it or not completely. You please keeps writing, they will just correct it because I'm not aware about these technical things. Okay, clear to all? Now, after ECB, external commercial borrowing, just you see the next entry we have written it, the deposits by NRIs in the banking system, your Indian banking system. It means whatever amount they are depositing today, once they will take it back, once they will take it back, so you have to pay it back to the the persons. So amount you received or it is a deposited in our country or in the base in bank system, again it is a liability to pay to them. So it is also the part of your capital account. See, foreign capital movement, or you can say foreign capital, you can write in that place. Foreign capital, yes, you are receiving the FDI, you are receiving the FPI. These all are the category of capital movement. So yes, it is a part of capital account. Okay, so these are the entry you have to know and why you are saying that. क्या हुआ अभी भी solve नहीं हुआ. Okay, so yeah, I think they are doing this. Don't worry, you can get. So these are the basically entry. On the basis of that, we are defining that the transactions, all economic transactions related to assets or liabilities or any change in assets or liabilities in respect of, here there is a difference. In the fiscal policy, you have seen in respect of government. In monetary policy, you have seen in the respect of the bank, but here in the BOP, you have to see in the respect of the whole country. So in the whole country, if you consider, it may be the private, it may be the government, anyone can do the transactions. Okay, so in this way you have to check there. Clear? Now in capital account, as I discussed with you, the yesterday we have discussed with you the exchange rate, foreign exchange rate determination in two systems we have discussed. One is your fixed exchange rate system and other is the flexible exchange rate system, or that is known as the market exchange rate system. So I already account. So in current account already market exchange system we implemented in 1994 complete, because 92 we started in 60:40 ratio to implement market exchange system under the LUMS policy. In 93 the complete BOT we allowed BOT transaction we allowed subject to market exchange system. In 94 we allowed invisibles account for market exchange system. Okay, so after that the question was or issue was if really we can go for capital account convertibility or not. Clear? So capital account convertibility and market exchange system, these two are the same. Question was really we have to use the market exchange system in the capital account, or it is also known as the convertibility. Clear? In capital account or not. So there are some issues for implementation of capital account convertibility. And why after economic reforms India implemented in current account, not in capital account? Because Article 8 of the IMF says that all the member countries should implement the market exchange system under current account. Okay, and capital account is given to the concerned country कि you can implement or depending on the conditions of the country. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the capital account convertibility. So what is capital account is clear, and there is no subdivision of the capital account like POT and invisible account you see in the current account. It is there in the one capital account. So question is that really we have to implement the market exchange system, that is a convertibility in capital account or not. So we have to know first that what are the condition it should prevail in the country so that we can implement what are the advantage, disadvantage, and one Tarapur committee. Remember, for capital account convertibility, Tarapur committee was constituted. So if you think about capital account convertibility, same points. Yeah, capital account convertibility, you write one things you can just write also here in capital account. We are going to capital account convertibility. Just write capital account. So again, two conditions are there in overall in the capital account. In overall in the capital account,
Hello, check audio level testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 check 1 2 mic testing. Hello, hello, hello. Mic testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Clear? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Hello, check. Hello, check, check. Audio level testing. लेवल 1 का ठीक है, दे दो सर। ठीक, ओके, थैंक यू शुक्ला जी।
Now this technical issue solved here, and all you are getting this proper the voice. Sometimes technology has, I mean, good for. Okay, thank you, dear. Okay, so now first you do this only one point in. So what is capital account is clear, and already entry in the capital account we have just dictated you, and you also yesterday class. So in capital account, two possibilities are there. One, if overall inflow in this account, if overall inflow of foreign currency in this capital account is more than overall outflow of foreign currency in this account, then you can say that this situation is a capital account surplus. Okay, if overall inflow is more than the overall outflow of foreign currency in this particular account, then you can say capital account surplus. It's good and good for the country. And if you think when or you are getting it overall inflow of foreign currency is less than overall outflow of foreign currency, then this situation you can term it as capital account deficit. Capital account deficit, you can say. Okay, capital account deficit. So these conditions are there in India. Okay, in India normally what is the, if you see the India in the last few years trend, then yes, true, current account remain as a deficit, but the capital account showing the surplus. This condition, capital account surplus. So this surplus is enough, it's remain as enough amount that even after paying your deficit in current account, you live with of the foreign currency. So that is the reason ki now surplus you faced. The BOP was in surplus, but recently there is a huge outflow for FPI basically. So even in the point you have written the inflow of capital movement, that is one of the foreign capital. So we receives FDI and FPI. Okay, clear to all? Okay, one questions you are, sir, please repeat again what you say during technical problem. No, during technical problem I was just discussing with you the capital account and capital account convertibility. Now I am going to explain you. So here is the, I just discussed what is capital account. So I discussed capital account is the all the having the all economic transactions that related to assets and liabilities. I just explain you all the entry you have written in capital account, like the external assistance, external commercial borrowings, short-term credits, your deposit of the NRIs in the banking system, foreign capital like the FDI PI. But FDI PI, this separately I am discussing the topic. Just I given you the reference of that. Clear? So is it clear related to the capital account and what is the position of Indian economy? I request you personally start reading the economy survey. Okay, if you're getting time, but maybe after few days, once I complete this part of the syllabus, then the economy survey and budget we will do in the last, not right now continuations. Then you face the other test and this one. Meanwhile, we are going to arrange. Okay, but first let me complete this topic, all the core topic. Now, there is a concept of capital account convertibility. What is that? Capital. Actually, one concept is convertibility. Convertibility. Now, convertibility may be current account convertibility. Current account. Ability, or you can just second one, you can say capital account convertibility. Capital account convertibility. Clear? So simply it comes in mind what exactly convertibility we mean. Okay. Two questions I am getting it, dear, and I really thanks to all of you for asking the questions, because when you are asking the question, always remember the faculties and teachers are getting more productive, more efficient depending on the students. So that is the reason always I am asking you, keep asking. Like one of the question you asked, sir, our capital account is in surplus mainly because of borrowings. Is it good for us? No, dear. Borrowings can't be good. Okay, borrowings can't be good, but depending on why we borrow. So just you remember one thing: borrowings may be good or may be bad. Okay, 100% and we can't say. I mean, if suppose someone asked you it is good or bad, suddenly you can't say it is a good and suddenly you can't say it is a bad one. You have to think why you are borrowing, what is the purpose of borrowing. So borrowings may be good and may be bad. If you are borrowing the amount for productive use, creation of assets, formation of capital, then that borrowed amount may be good. Okay, because suppose I want to buy something from international market for set up a new industries, but for that I need the foreign capital, foreign currency, and suppose I don't have. So if I am borrowing from some country and I am able to set up my own plant, then in the long term there is a possibility I can produce more goods and services from this plant. I can earn more amount, I can sell my product in international market, I can earn and I can pay back all my dues. And even after payment of all my dues, these assets or capital remain with me for the long term. Then it's good. But suppose you borrowed from the international market and you consumed it, you used this borrowed amount for consumption purpose, then definitely it's not good for the borrowings. It's not good for borrowing, is not good in this case. So if you think about when you are going for the macroeconomic level, you cannot stop borrowing should be zero. You can't say that. No, borrowings may possible because particularly the country like us, developing country, borrowing, we have to borrow to meet our requirement. But you have to think about it, to what extent and what is the purpose. So for short term, but problem is that the particular year you are borrowing, so which account you are going to include it? You have to include, because borrowing in this particular amount is due to that there is an inflow of foreign currency. You are getting foreign currency in this year. So which account you have to record? So just on the basis of asset and liabilities, amount you borrowed, but this borrowed amount has created equivalent of liabilities in the world market. So you have to keep in the capital account. But question is, the borrowing is good or bad depending on what is the purpose, how much you are using and what extent you are just borrowing it. Okay, huge amount of borrowing, it can put into the debt trap. Okay, so we have to just think in this way. And randomly and just straightforward, we can't say it's good or bad. We have to think about why we are. But yes, borrowing beyond a certain level is not good. Second, you are asking, sir, if we want to increase the capital account surplus, so we need increase the international trade. No, dear. Again, you are wrong here. International trade means selling and purchasing. I mean the buying and selling of goods and services. That is known as the international trade. Trade means the trading of goods and services. But when you are trading the goods and services, it can't be the part of your capital account. No, it's not the part of capital account. It's a part of your current account. If you are trading means you are exporting and importing the goods, it is a part of BOT. If you are exporting and importing of services, it is a part of invisibles account. So this is a part of current account, not the capital account. So capital account surplus is good for you when you are getting that. Okay, you are getting from the other country. But yes, surplus when you are getting, the two way you are getting. Either you are borrowing or you are getting the deposits, or you are others are investing in your country. Other investing in your country. But in long term, since you have to pay it back, so that may create your problem. That is the one of the reason that as far as receiving is concerned, so it's good for current account, because in current account you are receiving more and more money. Then what are the source of receiving the foreign currency in current account? It is due to the export of goods, it is due to the export of services, it is due to income receipt from abroad, transfer receipt from abroad, which is good. That is the reason each and every country focusing mainly on current account. Why we are just discussing more on current account deficit, all policies you made for the current account deficit or current account, because it's giving you the real picture of the economy. But capital account, only the transaction of borrowings, lending, buying the government bonds and other one is good. But suppose you purchased huge amount of the international assets in a particular year, and after a few years you started getting the return. So also the capital account received is good for the country, because your claim is more in the world market. But if the receive is not the earning part, I mean you are getting from the assets you earning part will again come to the current account. Suppose you made expenditure, you created some assets in the foreign market, so this expenditure in this particular year or in capital account, yes, it is going to help you in the current account. Because next after a few years when you started getting income, so it is going to increase the inflow of your current account. In this way you have to take. But borrowing can't be the good things for the long term. Next, Suvankar Mandal, you are asking, sir, if Apple borrows money from World Bank for its Indian subsidiary firm, will it be counted under BOP in these transactions? Has RBI any role in it? Now again you have to think Apple as a firm, okay, but Apple is really this Apple is subsidiary means suppose a different identity, different units they set up in India, and they are just controlling each and every business due to in this India. Okay, so parent office of, you can say parent producing units or parent, the headquarters is just separated from they are separated for everything, even borrowing, lending, liabilities, these all are there. Only brand name they are carrying this in Indian market. So if they are borrowing from any other international, I'm not specifying that, any international institution, and this borrowing amount in coming in India, so definitely is going to be the part of ECB, because your Indian subsidiary is borrowing it. So it is the external commercial borrowing you are receiving. But this amount has to come in India. It must be recorded in Indian BOP. Then it's a part of BOP. If they are borrowed from any international institution and they are receiving this money in their headquarters, on the main office. So that is recorded in their countries. Only it's a transactions we are dealing with. If transaction happen between the India and this other international institution, we are going to include it. Clear here? Now next come convertibility. So what exactly convertibility means? So convertibility means, suppose a foreign currency holder one side and domestic currency holder other side, and these things we are talking about within the economy in our foreign exchange market. So suppose within our economy, one individual holding the foreign currency and one individual holding the domestic currency. If foreign currency holder can convert into domestic currency and domestic currency holder can convert into foreign currency at market determined foreign exchange rate, without any intervention of the competent authority, then it is known as convertibility, simple convertibility. And if you see these things from the different angle, it is nothing but it is a market exchange rate system. You see that it's nothing but the market exchange rate system. Okay, in the market exchange rate system, what is happening? The person who want to sell dollar, they are selling in the market, and person who want to buy the dollar, they are buying from the market. And at what rate? So the rate which is decided or which is determined in the market by the market forces, and in this type of system there is an intervention of the government, so it should not, so government is not intervening in market, so they are converting. So, and if you just take this, then in current account we implemented convertibility. So step by step we done it. In 1992 the 60:14 BOT, 1993 100% BOT transactions, and 1994 we implemented in invisibles account. Okay, so in 1994 till your 1994 all your current account transactions you implemented the convertibility. But as far as capital account is concerned, we not implemented yet. Full capital account convertibility is not implemented yet. Yes, twice, once in the, okay, first you write convertibility, then we are discussing, we are going next. Right, convertibility means freedom to convert rupee into foreign currency, and foreign currency into rupee, freedom to convert rupee into foreign currency and foreign currency into rupee at the market determined exchange rate, foreign exchange rate, without any restrictions of the competent authority, without any restrictions of the competent authority, right? So convertibility has three characteristics. First you write freedom to convert. Second you write freedom at, convert at, not freedom. Second you write convert at market determined foreign exchange rate, and third one you write no restrictions oblique no interventions of the competent authority. No interventions of the competent authority. Okay, third one is fine. Now change the para you write. Changing the para in the right. Convertibility has already implemented. The convertibility has already implemented in current account BOP, in current account of BOP in 1994 full stop, right? More lines so you're not going to confused. Okay, so convertibility is started, implementation, just like implementation of convertibility is started in 1992 in BOT account, okay, BOT account in 60:40 ratio, under LERMS. LERMS means LERMS, liberalized exchange rate management system. Okay, full stop. In 1993 100% it was implemented. In 1993 it was 100% it was implemented in BOT, and in 1994 it was also implemented in invisibles account of current account. It was also implemented in invisibles account of current account. Clear here? Now full stop, just write. So question is what? Since already you implemented convertibility in current account, now question and issue is the capital account. We should go for implementation of convertibility in capital account or not? Clear? So this question has come out. So you remember in the 2 times, basically in 1997 when that time P. Chidambaram was the finance minister. So P. Chidambaram sir discussed about the capital account convertibility. So in 1997 RBI, because you are knowing that foreign exchange rate and that is maintaining the stability of foreign exchange rate and forex currency reserves, it is a responsibility of the RBI. So RBI constituted a committee, okay, and committee was constituted under the chairmanship of Tarapur. Tarapur is the name of person. Tarapur, he was very expert in the external sector. So a committee was constituted in 1997, okay, to look into the matter. What is the matter? Capital account convertibility, okay, in 1997. And 1997 when Tarapur committee was constituted, it is known as the Tarapur Committee 1. It is known as Tarapur Committee 1. Clear? This committee recommended some of the conditions. If the economy is going to fulfill these conditions, then we can go and we can implement the capital account convertibility. Okay, that was there. But his recommendations was not implemented due to East Asian currency crisis in the world, international market. So there was crisis in international market, particularly in East Asia. So that's affected the Indian economy, and we are not in a position to implement the capital account convertibility. But again in 2006, what's happened when Dr. Manmohan Singh discussed about the capital account convertibility. So again RBI constituted under the same person chairmanship, and which is known as Tarapur Committee Part 2. Tarapur Committee Part 2. So Tarapur Committee basically constituted on the topic or on the issue full capital account convertibility. Okay, capital account convertibility, you can say that. So on the basis of these committee recommendations, we are going to discuss the conditions we need for implementation of capital account convertibility. Okay, so what are the conditions we are going to discuss? It is based on the Tarapur committee. Yes, at least minimum conditions we have to follow this, then only we should think about capital account convertibility. Okay, so Tarapur committee recommended. So one thing is good, on the basis of Tarapur committee recommendations, India not implemented fully the capital account convertibility, but yes, it's also true that few transactions like the FPI, the government allowed the convertibility. It means if any money, any foreign currency, it comes through the FPI or as a FPI, then this amount of foreign currency you can convert from dollar to rupee or any foreign currency terms to the rupee in the market, that is under the market exchange system. Clear? But if FDI is coming, then FDI has to go through the official routes, that through the RBI. What I discussed in the fixed interest system. Okay, that's yes, RBI is going to decide and RBI is going to buy and sell just these things. Okay, so please write convertibility meaning. You just give the heading capital account convertibility. Capital account convertibility, you write. Okay, right. The capital account convertibility means there is no restriction on conversion. There is no restrictions on conversion of the domestic currency into a foreign currency and vice versa to enable ENABLE to enable a resident to acquire any foreign assets or on conversion of a foreign currency to the domestic currency or on conversion of a foreign currency to the domestic currency to enable ENABLE to enable a non-resident to acquire a domestic assets full stop. It means no restrictions of convert. I mean this one, that is the convertibility concept already I discussed, but okay, right. Preconditions for convertibility, full capital account convertibility. Preconditions for full capital account convertibility. Right, number one, first you write fiscal deficit should be first precondition, fiscal deficit should be minimum and sustainable. Now you can ask, sir, why fiscal deficit and how fiscal deficit is related to the current capital account convertibility? Yes dear, because convertibility, what we discussed till now, no restriction is imposed by the competent authority, no restrictions. So any moment the foreigners can come, they can invest because no restrictions, and when they want they can leave your country. Okay, so you're not going to restrict it. So if it is the conditions, then when you can expect, because no restrictions, suppose they came, If they came, then what will happen? They can leave it also from your country, or maybe they are not coming to your country. So if you are allowed I mean the convertibility, so you are not expecting not getting the foreign capital, but your investment is going abroad. There is outflow of capital. There is a possibility, because no restriction means on both. Foreign investor, they can come, they can invest, and domestic investors, even they can invest abroad. Okay, when it is a good, just you understand, when our country is going to prove one of the best destinations for investment, then convertibility is good for country. So in any disturbance, anything's happening in our country or any country of the world, is suppose USA. Yes, USA faced 2008 the worldwide recessions, okay, financial crisis. But really all investors left the USA economy? No, dear. All major companies are still there in the USA. They faced the 2008 and the onwards the financial crisis. They just bear everything. Why? Because they have the trust. It's after all, it's a USA economy. They will change in the future, and again we can retain our same positions. So that confidence level, that things we have to generate in international market. If we are making our country one of the best destination for investments, then only it's good for the go for the convertibility. Convertibility, again, one other point you can just think about it. Okay, convertibility, if you implement it, means you're given more incentive to the firm or investors. Yes, you when you want you can come, and when you want to live you can live. So basically you are giving freedom to them, and we are giving the freedom to them, then definitely they will come to your country and invest it. So that's we are trying. So why fiscal deficit? Because we have discussed in the class, if country like India, one of the reason of BOP crisis in 1991, the higher budgetary deficit or budget deficit. So you take the example of Sri Lanka today. The Sri Lanka is facing the higher fiscal deficit, and the result is what? The domestic economy destabilized. External sector payments has huge liabilities. So higher fiscal deficit is going to, destabilize your country. So higher fiscal deficit, you have to bring it at the lower level and make your country stable. Then only you can expect that the foreigners or foreign investors will come to your country and they will invest it. So you have to maintain it. Clear here? So connect with the last few earlier classes, you can get it. Next you write, forex reserve or foreign currency reserves should be adequate. Foreign currency reserves should be adequate. Foreign currency reserves should be adequate. Okay. So foreign currency reserves I have discussed with you now. I think when you're talking about foreign currency reserves in India, foreign currency reserves, that is in the short form you are writing forex. Forex you are writing, foreign exchange reserves you are writing. It includes foreign currencies with RBI. It's a specific one. Okay. Second one you write gold reserve with RBI. And third, SDR is special drawing rights with Government of India. So measure 3, generally UPSC asks the questions in PT. If you're just solving the PT last 10 years, then you are getting one of the questions, you will get it. So there is a trend, they are asking it. So when you are saying, or when you are reading the newspaper, when you are saying foreign forex reserve of India is maybe increasing sometimes decreasing. So when foreign exchange reserves you are referring, so foreign exchange reserves includes foreign currencies with RBI. Foreign currencies reserves, you can write one more word, you can write foreign currencies reserve. foreign currency reserves with RBI. So foreign currencies is held by you are holding or banks are holding or any corporate sectors are holding. These foreign currencies are not considered as a part of reserves. Okay. These are basically in the market, the transaction is going on. But reserve means the foreign currencies held by the RBI. Gold reserves, yes, gold reserves with the RBI. So that their value also comes under the concept of forex reserve. And SDR is special drawing rights with the government of India. So you are knowing that if IMF, International Monetary Fund, IMF basically getting their membership subscriptions from all the members in terms of SDR. So get only one idea here. You are knowing earlier, suppose earlier the dollar was dominating. Okay, so that time to give the importance of the other currencies. So what the IMF done it, IMF constituted a concept which is known as the SDR. So SDR is the special drawing rights. SDR is known as currency of IMF. But this currency has no physical existence. It's not, there's no physical existence. It's SDR is just a value. And now in December 2016, the Chinese currency is also included in this fourth category, fourth list of foreign currency. Now it's the 5 currencies. Okay, now 5 currencies contributing as some proportions to get this value of SDR. And how this proportion is decided? So proportion is decided on the basis of world trade. So what is the volume of world trade? And in that trade, what is the contributions of transactions, trade transaction is happening in terms of dollar? What is the proportion is happening in the terms of pound, like this? So basically in Chinese currency, so that proportion, that volume of transaction in the world trade is going to decide their weight. So getting SDR value 1 SDR, that much of weight is assigned. So if suppose you want to pay 1 SDR to IMF, so in that proportions you can calculate and you can pay in different 5 currencies. So the monopoly of dollar has just not is now. So you can pay in any 5 foreign currency, combination of that or one. So demand for other currencies also created due to the SDR concept. So SDR is the currency of IMF, but there is no physical existence. It is the value which is decided on the basis of 5 currencies. Okay, and how this, what are the process, what is these things, that will be discussed in the international institution. Who is then coming for the discussion of a World Bank, IMF, other international institution will discuss. So this concept is there, SDR. So when you are leaving your India, when you are going abroad, so basically you are representing the India. Okay, so when SDR, as far as SDR is concerned, it is always in the name of the government of India. So that is the reason we have written that SDR with government of India. How much government of India deposited SDR as a membership subscription to IMF, that is also the part of Forex Reserve of India. So UPSC asks these things, okay, not only once, several times. Okay, what are the components of Forex Reserve? So you have to know all the 3. Okay, choose it. Now, next point you write why you are, okay, in second point you're writing Forex Reserve should be adequate and sustainable. Forex Reserve should be adequate and sustainable, because today in this world, Forex Reserve with any country is representing or represents what is the position of this particular country in the world market, whether you are dominating or others are dominating to you. So that position is there, that's indicator. One of them today is the indicator in respect of the world market. Right, next point. NPA of banks should be minimum. NPA of banks should be minimum. And why NPA of banks should be minimum? Because if a bank's having more NPA, then banks may face the liquidity problems. And if you are facing the liquidity problem, then it may result financial crisis. And you are knowing that already discussed in the class, if financial crisis may turn into the economic crisis. So you have to just take care of this. Then only you can expect that is, this is a precondition that only you may go for the capital account convertibility. Next, right, inflation should be under control. inflation should be under control. These all points we are taking from the Tarapur committee recommendations. Okay, so inflation should be under control. It means you have learned it already in the class in the monetary system. I discussed with you. See, inflation below a certain level is not good for the country, and inflation above a certain level is not good for the country. Like India, target of inflation is 4% plus minus 2%. So below 2% is not good for the Indian economy. Above 6% is not good for the Indian economy. So you have to maintain the inflation at the moderate level. Okay. So that's the reason you are saying inflation should be under control. Next you write interest rates should be moderate. Interest rates should be moderate. Next point, interest rates should be moderate. Why you are writing interest rates should be moderate here? Why you are saying interest rates should be moderate? I think the last class I discussed with you. Yeah, maybe last class. So what you're getting the interest rate moderate? We have seen that the Fleming's-Mundell model we have discussed with you in the class, or interest rate differential and capital inflow and outflow. So what you're getting, if your countries or on an average your rate of interest is higher, then only you can expect there is an inflow of foreign capital. Foreign capital you can get it. But at the same time, if you are maintaining high rate of interest in the country, then you are going to lose the domestic investment. So one side you are getting benefits, but on the same time on the other side you are losing something. So you have to keep your interest rate moderate in such a way that comfortably you are maintaining the external, the foreign capital, and also you are able to maintain your domestic investment. So in keeping in mind both, you have to maintain your interest rate. So that is the reason you are saying interest rate should be moderate. Clear? And next you write etc, etc. So these are the basically preconditions. Country must fulfill, then only the country, that particular country, can think about going for capital account convertibility. Clear? Fine. Now let's write next capital account convertibility. Just write advantages of capital account convertibility. Oh, you sent some questions. Jagannath, what you are asking? Now, iske pehle I given all the questions answer. You are asking, Jagannath, if our current account value increases, then our currency value will be increased. What do you mean by current account value? Current account value, I am not saying. This is not terms we are using it. Either you can say inflow is more in current account, or you can say outflow from the account. If inflow is more than outflow, then your currency will appreciate. That's I discussed yesterday. Please use the economic terminology what we learned in the class in your answer. If really you want your answers to be more effective, then you have to use the economic terminology and the concepts what we are using, what we are developing in the class. Then only you can make your answer better answer and the comprehensive one. Don't use the general terminology, general words. Since already we are knowing that, then why not you can use it? Like you are saying the current account value. What do you mean by current account value? There's two things happen. If your inflow is more than the outflow, then your domestic currency is going, it means supply is more. Inflow is more means supply is more in compared to demand, which leads to appreciation of domestic currency. If outflow is more than the inflow, then your country is going to depreciate. The depreciation of domestic currency. Simply you can connect like this. Clear, Jagannath? And this way you take, please. One question, Biswajit, you are asking, sir, is Trump one day office of parliament for financial crisis? No, Biswajit, in Trump government, what's happened? I discussed with you the FRBM review committee, you remember, and even the FRBM Act. When I was discussing with you, I discussed कि yes, there was one provision under the FRBM Act, the debt ceiling. Okay, so you have to fix the total amount of debt. So this capping of debt or external debt or borrowings limit, it is there in the USA. So the governments in the USA is allowed to borrow a certain amount from the market, and already Senate given the permissions. But you cannot borrow more than this amount. You cannot borrow more than this amount. If you want to borrow from this more than this amount, then you have to take permission from the Senate one. Senate has to permit, then only you can borrow. So what's happened? When it's happened with the Obama government, but there was no closing of the office. That is known as a shutdown conditions. The concept is shutdown condition in the economy. Shutdown condition, one is the market concept. Forget about market. The tick about all over countries. So when country face shutdown, it means the government closes some of the departments due to the lack of resources. So this situation was also faced by the Obama government, Obama administrations. So Obama implemented so many schemes. One of the scheme that is really huge cost incurred, huge expenditure incurred by the government, that is known and which is known as Obamacare. So that's huge amount of expenditure government incurred, and they bound to take the more loan. And Obama administration reached to the maximum limit. They requested to the Senate. Initially they refused, but finally they permitted. So Obama government about to face the shutdown, but finally Senate permitted timely. So there was no shutdown happened in the Obama administrations. But Trump government also spent huge money, and Trump government also reached to the maximum borrowing limit. Okay, and when Trump government reached the maximum limit borrowing, so Trump asked to the Senate to permit me, but Senate refused to permit, because Trump government was not the actual welfare of the individuals, humans. That was they started just putting the wall and the border area and other unnecessary expenditure. So Senate not permitted, and due to that, one day, which we can say symbolically, one day the government shut down the department. So one day hardly it is going to just affect, but the country like USA, if USA is going to face the shutdown condition due to the lack of resources, then you can imagine that how the other country is going to face in these situations. So that was really not good for the USA, not for the USA, the whole world it is there, because it's going to affect the whole world. So symbolically they done it, but later they are already allowed, and they borrowed it, and they continue the departmental functioning. But yes, anytime that Trump government's name is come or administration, the shutdown condition will be there. So that's we are talking about here. Okay. Next you are saying, sir, in case of foreign currencies with RBI, the bonds are included, or it is, where is the bonds, dear? We are not talking about the bonds. We are just talking about the pure foreign currencies. You understand this, Subhasri? Okay? Why gold reserves are considered as forex reserve? What is the rationale? Nothing. Gold is the assets. Okay, assets. And which is the international importance? If you give gold to any country of the world, they will accept it. So gold having the international identity, you can say. No one is saying that no one will accept it, refuse it. Everyone is going to accept the gold. So you keep gold as assets in the reserve, and it is a part of foreign currency reserve. Moderate interest rate will attract more investment potential. No, dear. Moderate means the rate of interest what you have to keep in the domestic economy. It is good for domestic investment as well as foreign capital. You have to balance between these two. Okay. All these preconditions of capital account convertibility were recommended by Tarapur Committee 1 or 2. It's a combined, Anirban. It's just there's more or less, they can't change it drastically. No? These are the very basic economic parameters, very basic economic. But I'm not going to quantify. I'm not going, like your fiscal deficit, they recommended 3.5%. So I'm not going to quantify. I'm just going to overall say you about the policy, because 3.5% already when FRBM is targeting 3%. So what is the rationale behind the 3.5%? But decrease, you have to decrease. Clear? So in present scenario of India, only full cap current account. Yes, their full cap current account is there. Convertibility exists, but what is the status of capital account? Is it partially convertible or not? Partially, you can say that, but full convertibility is not allowed. Why? Because FPI, foreign portfolio investment, is the part of capital account, but that FPI, if it comes and FPI is outflowing from India, that is subject to the market exchange rate system. Means you don't need to take the permissions as a FPI. In terms of FPI, you can convert from dollar to rupee and rupee to dollar at the market exchange rate system without any intervention of the competent authority. So basically already you implemented in this, but it's not the fully convertible. So debate is there, really we should go for the full capital account convertibility or not. So first of all, we are talking about the preconditions. These preconditions is there or not. If it is not there, so it's very risky to go and implement the capital account convertibility. So first of all, we have to develop all, and these are the very basic parameters. If you are going to achieve this, it means you are going to make your country one of the stable country and one of the best destinations for investors. That's good, right? Advantages, right? Advantages, right? First point, right? We can get foreign capital for investment. We can get foreign capital for investment. Next point you write, it creates competitive environment. It creates competitive environment in the domestic economy. It creates competitive environment in the domestic economy. Clear? So here you have to learn one point. Yeah, competitive environment is not always good for the country to some extent. If competition comes in this way, so if you are creating competitive environment, so in long term really it's good for the country, but in the short term it may result adverse impact to our country, maybe to any country. It may result adverse impact, and it's happened in the country like India. Like suppose you allowed the FDI, foreign direct investment, that is a foreign capital, you allowed. What's happened? You are knowing one of the car manufacturer in India, which is the Hindustan Motors. The Hindustan Motors had the monopoly in Indian market. Fiat was there. I mean, this there's a manufacturer of this car, which is, you can go to the Mumbai, even in the Bengal, you can get some Paul car. Okay, this is a Fiat one. But basically, it's dominated by the Ambassador, which is the Hindustan Motors output. I mean, the production. So Hindustan Motors had the monopoly. Ambassador means earlier, before economy reforms, the car means ambassador. Even students are preparing for civil services. Only one dream, yes, white ambassador, red. Okay, so these are the concept. These are the these were their monopoly they had in that time. But what's happened? After economic reforms, when you allowed other manufacturers the foreign capital for investments in the country, they set up their plants. Like Maruti set up their plant, Honda came. Okay, so Toyota came in India. They started manufacturing their own output. They had the good technology. Still, they have the good technology. Okay, advanced technology. So they started manufacturing better output. Okay, and the ambassador, the Hindustan Motors, they thought that I have the monopoly power, so I can run the economy, I can rule the market. But what's happened finally? After all, I discussed with the planning, the consumers are rational persons. Consumers are rational person, individuals are means rational persons. They think about really what is good for them. They are not thinking about who is producing it. Okay, they think if output is good and we are paying rational price, they will demand it. So their product demand started increasing in the country. People started decreasing the demand of the ambassador. Finally, what's happened? The ambassador closed the factory. So here, if you take this example, competitive environment, some of the industries, they are not able to survive because they are not face the challenges. Okay. But yes, it is not always bad. So if that, take this example, output has declined. If you go to the Hind Motor, this plant was in Hind Motor. Okay, so you see the Hind Motor area. So before, when the Hindustan Motors was running their factory, you can see that area's development, the income of that area, the development of this area, the people's having the good income. But now this factory is just closed. You can go and compare it. Okay, not only that, if countries created the ancillary units, small manufacturing units there around this area, they all closed, because to whom they are going to supply it to? Okay, they closed it already. So the all ancillary units is closed. The output has declined of the country, unemployment has created. Yes, there may be some adverse impact, but always it is not going to happen. In sometimes, if you're accepting the challenge of competitive environment and you are accordingly you are acting and you are promoting the research and development, then it may be good for the country. Take the example of Mahindra just competing with the today's all the foreign companies, car manufacturers. Now Tata started competing with all the car manufacturers. So you understand कि as per the environment and the requirement of the economy keeps changing, you have to change yourself. You be competitive and accordingly you have to develop yourself so that you can accommodate and you can run and rule the market. So both is may happen. The foreign capital may create the competitive environment, and this environment may result good for you and may bad for you. So both the points we are going to cover. So you are writing that it creates competitive environment in the domestic economy. You are writing in the advantage, right? Next point, all advantages of FDI. We are going to discuss FDI later on after this topic. FDI, foreign direct investments. So all the advantages of FDI we get like all the FDIs of FDI we get, like we can get like huge capital, comma, advanced technology, and better management, Okay. Now next point you write, Indians will get a wider range of choice. Indians will get a wider range of choice for investments and borrowings from abroad. See, when you are going to implement restrictions you removed, if restrictions you removed, it means the Indians will get freedom. They can invest in any country of the world and they can borrow the fund from any country of the market, any other countries. So that freedoms they are going to get it. So these are the basically advantages if you're going for implementations. Now question is that what are the disadvantages of capital account convertibility? Yes, after financial crisis of 2008, or you can say these great recessions, United Nations had constituted a committee under Professor Stiglitz, and Stiglitz commissions given their report, and that report one of the things they mentioned in the report, one of the findings you can say they mentioned in the report is that if you compare the all affected countries, then countries they already implemented capital account convertibility, they are witnessing worst affected in compared to those countries they are not implemented the capital account convertibility. So this one result is there. It means why it's happened? Ki suppose when your economy is going to upward directions, when everything is fine, aggregate demand is more, production is more, you are getting more profit, so investors of other countries, they prefer to come in your country to take the benefits of that. Clear? So when you are growing, it's very practical life also. When you are growing, when you're performing better, so all the person around you, they will appreciate, they will associate with you. But when you're going to go downward trend, the people around you, they start leaving you basically. Same things happening in the practice this here. If your economy is growing, so the international investors, they prefer to come and invest in your economy because they are getting opportunity to earn. But when your economy is going to face downward trend in your economy, they started leaving your country because they think there's opportunity to earn is not here. Some other country, if they're giving it, so they will leave your country, they will go to the other country. So if there is no control provisions are there, then they said they will leave your country and they will leave. They leave your country. So the time when you need more foreign capital, the same time they are leaving you, so you can imagine the what the condition you are going to face. It is the worst condition you are going to face. If suppose you can restrict it due to the provisions, rules prevailing in your country, at least you can restrict and you can meet your requirement at that time, and you are able to put yourself from the worst positions. So that is the reason ki some country are just worst affected much more. The countries, they already implemented the capital account convertibility. So just on the basis of that, you write one point in disadvantages, right? As the global financial crisis, proved that full capital account convertibility can destabilize the country, can destabilize the country. Okay, next point you write, domestic industries may be adversely affected. Domestic industries may be adversely affected, and can create unemployment, देखो clear. So point already I discussed with you कि competitive environment may work in your country in both the different ways. One, it's good, may be good for your country, and second, it may adversely affect your country. So this adverse point you can write here in disadvantage. Okay, next you write, since Indian rupee is not a international currency, so it can face serious volatility problems. Means always you need to convert from dollar to rupee to dollar, because directly our currency is not accepted in international transactions. So yes, one of the challenge we are facing, that we have to convert. So exchange rate problem is one of the issue. Next one you write, FDI in strategic sectors must be under control. This is the one of the argument you are giving. If some strategic sectors the government should have control. So if you are allowing the capital account convertibility, it means you are losing this control. Okay, you are losing this control to some extent. Clear here? Fine. Okay. Yeah, disadvantage, right? Then you write Tarapur Committee on CSE. Just giving the heading Tarapur Committee. CAC means capital account convertibility. Tarapur Committee on CSE. So first you are writing Tarapur Committee 1, which constituted 1997. Okay. Please write in the budget speech of 1997-98. In the budget speech of 1997-98, the then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram, discussed for capital account convertibility, and accordingly in 1997 RBI constituted a committee on capital account convertibility under the chairmanship of Tarapur. Clear? Right. The committee submitted its report in 1997. Same year they submitted, 1987. Okay. And recommended the implementation of capital account convertibility in three phases. Clear? 97-98, 98-99, and 99-2000. In first phase 97-98, second phase 98. 1998, 1999, and in 1999 till 2000. So, yeah. Complete karna, 2000. Clear? Why 3 pages? Because you understand the earlier macroeconomic plan implementations and current scenario. If you see, so there are some changes. Earlier, you know, when you are, and it's a very obvious one, and it should be very rational that when you are going to implement any policy at the macro level, so you have to implement and the stage form, the first stage, second stage, third stage. Means first stage you covered a particular distance, and then you implement, and after implementation you learn it. What are the things, what are the issues we are facing in these schemes or policies. Then you have to learn it and solve these existing issues, and after solving this, then you can go for the next stage. Again, some issues are there, you include and solve, and then you just finally you implement in the all over the country. It is going to give you opportunity to learn, because there is one concept we are discussing, learning by doing. So when you learn, learning by doing means when you do something, then you are learning it. See, theoretically when you are making any schemes and projects, so theoretical making of the project policy and projects, you can't get the output and the result what exactly on the paper you are writing it. Okay, because you don't know what are the other challenges you are going to meet for implementation of this project. So finally, when you are implementing this, then you are going to learn actual problems, what you are going to face at the ground level. And that's the reason that always the target keeps varying, because it's depending and subject to the other conditions. But when you're implementing practically, then you are going to learn the real problems what you may face in the economy after. Okay, so then you can include all the things, solve all the things, then you can go step by step. You take the example GST when the government implemented suddenly. Okay, even the infrastructure, as far as infrastructure was not fully developed, people are not aware about that key, how we can file, what are the things. Okay, then later on they learned it, now it's fine, but it took such huge time. Okay, huge time, and several times after implementation, government reform, fully implementation, government reform, taken it back, then included, modified. So it took around the same times for completing the whole the process. But the better way, what it suggests, okay, yes, you can go step by step. That is earlier the policies implication was this. Okay, now write it one more line. But it could not be implemented, due to East Asian currency crisis. Okay, ठीक है dear? Okay, fine. Now you write, change the para, you write, in 2006, the then prime minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh discussed about capital account convertibility, full stop, right? The committee was constituted, discussed about capital account convertibility. Accordingly, RBI constituted a committee under the chairmanship of Tarapur to revisit the subject of full capital account convertibility, in the context of the progress in economic growth, comma, the external and financial sectors, the stability in external and financial sectors, and adopt and implementation of liberalization and globalization policies, that is integrating with the world economy, etc. Okay, the committee recommended implementation of capital account convertibility in three phases. It was 2006 first, and it was 2007 and 9. Taken the 2 years, you take 2007 and 9, and finally 2011, by 2011. So they given this, yes, you can implement, but what was the condition? So what you have just learned it, preconditions, they imposed it. If you are able to maintain or you are able to achieve these conditions, then you can implement it. Finally, what's happened? Government not implemented the full capital account convertibility because recommendations committee can give it, but finally the parliament has to decide, government has to decide. So they not implement it, and yes, the transaction like the API, it was allowed, fine, to attract more foreign investors through the FPI routes. Yes, you can invest more. So the incentives are given to FPI. Yes, when you're coming, so you just convert it, invest it. When you want to live, you can live it. That is the reason from October 2021, what's happened? We observe the more outflow of capital, and we can't restrict it. Why the price of foreign currency in international in foreign exchange market has increased? Reason is that okay, the outflow of API is subject to market subject to convertibility, so they can easily convert in the market. So when you start pulling your fund or invested amount from India, it means you're demanding more dollar to bring it back, I mean to send it back to your home country or any other nation like the USA. So demand has created much more due to more outflow of foreign currency, and this higher demand of foreign currency resulting depreciation of domestic currency. Okay, so if you are knowing these things, so you can easily connect it, all those things what you are talking about. Clear? Okay, this is final dear, and no other committees and anything was made on the basis of this. So just you watch, keeps watching on this. If new things is coming, then you have to add it. Clear dear? So this convertible was also clear. Any questions you said? So now this topic. If any doubts, any problems you have, then please. Okay, but okay, I will maintain our speed. You are writing, sir, please speak slowly while we are writing. Okay, fine. Okay. One question, sir, you are asking, sir, why can't a country print more its currency to become more convertibility for borrowing foreign currency for the development of this country? Dear, what you are writing, you are writing, sir, why can't a country print more its currency to become more convertibility for borrowing foreign currency for the development of this country? Please think. Please think. You are trying to say, suppose what you are writing this, it's you are trying to say that okay, the RBI should print more currency so you can easily convert. You can convert more and more foreign currency. But problem is that okay, the convertibility is only possible. You just please get it, all of you. Convertibility is the second stage. First stage, कि really foreign currency is coming to your country or not. If foreign currency you are receiving, then question is that कि the convertibility from the dollar to or euro to rupee. If you are not receiving foreign currency, so no matter of conversion, how can you do that? So there must be the availability of foreign currency, dear. First is this. If foreign currency we are receiving, then only we need to convert dollar to rupee. And if we are importing, if you want to pay, then only you are going to convert from rupee to dollar. But problem, it does not mean that there is huge amount of foreign currency is available in my country, and as much as we want, then we can convert from rupee to foreign currency and we can invest, or vice versa. No dear, you have to earn. So even for foreign capital, you are depending on the foreigners. They should come and invest in my country. So first of all, they should come in my country. If they are coming, then they can't use the dollar, so they have to convert from dollar to rupee, and after conversion then they can invest. So what is happening? Investment is increasing. At the same time, we increase our dollar, and this dollar you can use for the other purpose, like the meeting the demand of imports. Because if you're going to buy some imported goods, or you're buying or importing from other goods, you need to pay, and that payment must be in the terms of foreign currency. So your suggestions is not relevant now in this scenario, yeah. And if you're printing more and more currency for domestic, yeah, you can say the domestic investment, you can supply more, but again there is a limitation that we have done in the class. If you're increasing the money supply more in the country, it may result the higher inflations, which can again affect your growth and development. Okay, so that part you have to understand, yeah. Okay. Now anything? So let me complete first one topic. Okay, near and rear, I think you asked near and rear. So I'm just going to explain you near and rear, then I will explain the other, I will discuss about other topics. If you are getting in the first time, it's fine. And near and rear, I'm not going to explain through formula and the pure academics way, because they're not asking, and it's not the part of that in-depth knowledge you need to explain it. Clear? But yes, if you're honors students, you're doing master, then you have to do that for that purpose, academic purpose. Here they asked in the PT paper only. So you have to know the basic idea about what is near and what is rear. Clear? So just you take one simple example. First, let me explain you this, and if you're not getting, then we will see. Okay. Near means nominal, effective, exchange rate, and rear is your real effective exchange rate. Clear? Nominal effective exchange rate or real effective exchange rate. Basic concept, what you learn it in the class. Ki suppose India is here, and India is trading with so many countries in this world, so many countries of this world. So India is trading in different countries in different currencies. Okay. So do one thing, grouped all countries in different groups based on the trade they are doing in a particular currency. Let us classify all the countries. So for understanding here, let us consider few currencies. Like suppose here is the group A, we are just saying group B, and just say group C. And let us consider group A countries, we are trading, India is trading with group A countries in terms of dollar. Say with group B countries, and okay, in terms of euro. And with country C, we are trading in terms of say pound. Group A having so many countries, B having so many countries, C having so many countries. But with all the countries, we are trading in a particular currency. Like all the countries having group A, it means we are trading in terms of dollar. In group B, all the countries in group B, we are trading in terms of euro. And in group C countries, we are trading with all the countries in terms of pound. So what you are knowing in the class, what you learn it in the class, in India, if suppose tomorrow the dollar price, if dollar price keeps increasing, take the example of dollar because we discussed in the terms of dollar mostly in the class. So suppose dollar price is increasing, say from 50 to 60, what you're getting? As simple, it represents that demand for dollar is more in India in compared to supply. Demand means more outflow of dollar from my country in compared to what we are receiving. It means these countries dominating India, we are not dominating with these countries. So they are dominating, and so we are less competitive in respect to group A. If suppose tomorrow dollar price decreasing in India, it means it represents relatively there is a more supply of dollar. There is more supply of dollar in compared to demand. There is more supply of dollar in compared to demand. It means supply means okay, now India is dominating this A. It means we are able to sell more goods and services to country A, but we are able to sell means exports is much more, so we are more competent in compared to this group. So if tomorrow price is going to decrease or moderate, so we can say no, we started dominating this group. So the price of dollar will tell you India is dominating to group A or A is dominating to India. So it's showing you, in one sense, it's showing you the competitiveness of this country, of India, say, with that particular group of countries. And this, it is applicable with all the groups. Suppose tomorrow, if the price of euro is going up, then we can say the B group B is dominating in Indian economy, and if price of euro is going to fall, means India started dominating to the group B. Similar things happen in case of pound. If pound price keeps increasing, then we can say they are dominating to India. If price decreases, then India is dominating to C. So one currency is going to tell you about the countries with whom you are doing the trade in that particular currency. So basically it's going to give you the competitiveness, one of the indicator of competitiveness. But if you want to see the overall competitiveness in the world market, so how can you represent? So then you have to take the weighted average of bilateral exchange rate. And if you take the exchange rate of dollar, euro, pound and all other currencies and take the weighted average. Why weighted average? Because weight you have to assign, because if you take the trade in international market, maybe in terms of dollar you are doing more trade, in pound you are doing the very less amount. So the volume of trade in terms of particular currency, accordingly you have to assign the weight. So weighted average or bilateral exchange rate you take, that is known as a NER. NER is the bilateral exchange average of bilateral exchange rate. Okay, and NER, nominal effective exchange rate. If you adjust inflation in domestic country and also inflation in the respective other countries, and after adjustment then you take the average, then it is known as a RER, real effective exchange rate. Clear, dear? Try to get it, and the other things that I will discuss you I will continue in the in the class, this topic. I will dictate you some part, you write it. So any doubts, dear? Okay. Okay. So we will meet after break, dear. Fine. Okay. Thank you, everyone.